The teams are on a tight time schedule, so we really appreciate everyone being here so early. And we want to thank our friends from Popeyes, our title sponsor, for bringing some food this morning to our event. This is the 2015 Popeyes Bahamas Bowl pre-bowl press conference. We have several elements this morning. First, we'll hear from our Executive Director, Richard Giannini, and representative of our title sponsor, Popeyes Louisiana Kitchen, Mr. Hector Munoz. After that, we will take a momentary break to reset the table, and we will bring up the coaches and student athletes from Western Michigan. At about 11:25, once Middle Tennessee is here, we will do a short photo opportunity with the two head coaches and our championship trophy, our beautiful trophy that you see in front of us. And at that point, the Western Michigan coaches and student athletes will be excused, and we will bring our representatives and our friends from the Ministry of Tourism and the Ministry of Youth, Sports, and Culture will make some brief remarks, followed by the head coach of Middle Tennessee and their student athletes, and we should be done here by about 12 noon. So with that said, we will begin this morning's press conference, and I want to introduce the Executive Director of the Popeyes Bahamas Bowl, Mr. Richard Giannini. Richard.
Good morning, everyone. It's great to be here. It's great to be in the Bahamas, and we're really excited and looking forward to the game tomorrow. We want to thank a few individuals that have been our partners in this event that we really appreciate, and of course that is the Ministry of Tourism, and you'll have an opportunity to hear them in a few minutes. And we also want to thank the Ministry of Sport, and especially we want to thank the National Sports Authority, who is the group that operates the stadium, and the chairman is Mr. Leroy Archer. Leroy, appreciate your help. And Jeff Beckles, who is the general manager of the stadium. We will have him up in the second wave of interviews, so he can tell you about any of the stadium preparation. But I just want to say that we've had a great week, and the teams, I think when you talk to the coaches and the players, they'll say what a great experience it's been for them to be here in the Bahamas and enjoy incredible weather and just a terrific time. It's been a wonderful experience for them. I'd like to do a shout out for a couple of our people that are on our staff. As you know, and we announced last spring that the ownership of the game transferred from Conference USA to ESPN, and on behalf of the ESPN Disney Corporation, we are so pleased to be involved and have such great partners as the Ministry of Tourism and the Ministry of Youth, Sport, and Culture, and the National Sports Authority. I do want to introduce Lee Miller, who has been with this game from day one. She helped found it and participated with us with Conference USA, and is a great partner and a great part of the game with ESPN and Disney. Lee, we're glad you're here and appreciate you. With that, I would like to introduce another guy that with Conference USA that has been my friend for I can't count the number of years, but he's also the Associate Commissioner of Conference USA. And he too is down here from the first day, and has been involved in the process of the organization of getting this bowl game to where it is today. And that's Mr. Alfred White. Alfred, we appreciate you being here, and thank you so much for not only your friendship, but for your support of this event. And thank you, Chris.
All right, as we always have mentioned several times, a game of this magnitude doesn't happen with a lot of help, and Richard named a lot of folks, and the gentleman to my far left has been very instrumental from his standpoint. Mr. Hector Munoz, the Chief Marketing Officer of the United States for Popeyes Louisiana Kitchen. We thank him for everything that they do, and at this time, Hector would like to speak and tell you about Popeyes' involvement this week.
Great. Thank you, Chris. And good morning, everyone. As Richard indicated, it's been a great couple of days. And I will tell you, I couldn't be more proud. Popeyes could not be more proud to be the title sponsor of the Popeyes Bahamas Bowl. Obviously, we do this because it's good for our business, both in the U.S. as well as now here that we have a restaurant. But we also do it, more importantly, for the sense of pride that it really instills in our employees, our 60,000 employees worldwide, and our franchisees. I will tell you, last year we had roughly about 75 people from Popeyes, employees and franchisees, come to the game, and spend the week with us. This year, it's easily doubled. And that just speaks volumes. And a lot of the people that are actually here with us today, it's their second time. So the experience, the game, the hospitality that took place last year was just very, very memorable, and hence they're all here today. But I'll tell you, that the key reason, the reason that we do things like this is to really provide an opportunity to the players, to provide opportunities that otherwise they may not be able to have. And I will tell you, based on my experience at the Beach Bash a couple of days ago, it was phenomenal. These boys were having a good time. They were playing together. There was a lot of camaraderie. There was dancing. There was singing. It was just a great, great event. And it's true when you all say it's always better in the Bahamas, because it was very, very evident during that Beach Bash. It's been a great partnership, starting with the Ministry of Tourism. Last year, they welcomed us. This year, they're truly embracing us. And that's highly evident by the signage that you see in the airport when you arrive, the billboards and the print that you see throughout the town. It's all over the radio. I've also had opportunities in walking the islands. I'm wearing my Popeyes Bahamas Bowl shirt, cap, you name it. And everyone has a high level of awareness, and everyone's really looking forward to the game. So I just want to thank the Ministry of Tourism for all their wonderful work in getting the word out. We're really excited about tomorrow's game, and as soon as that game's over, we're going to start working on next year's game, and it's going to be bigger and better, so looking forward to that. I'd like to thank the Atlantis for hosting us. Again, like they do every year, they're just creating a very memorable experience for all involved, obviously including the players. A couple of things that I did want to talk about briefly as far as this year versus last year. As you all know, we now have a restaurant, a beautiful, busy restaurant in Prince Charles. I will tell you, we expected it to do really well, but it's exceeding expectations. Obviously, there's lines out the door, there are lines down the street, and we're putting measures in place to control that, because we don't want to create any problems, any traffic problems. But I will tell you, just the layout of the restaurant, the drive-through, can accommodate twice as many cars as any other drive-through in the island. So even with that said, we're still causing lines out the door. So, but I trust when I say we'll get that under control, and we'll try to avoid any traffic problems. The other piece that I'm really excited about is our most famous Popeyes brand ambassador, Deidre Henry, who hopefully many of you know as Annie. She's our TV spokes icon. She's going to be here tomorrow, and she's going to be singing our national anthem. So we're really excited about that. So hopefully you all will be here, and you'll have an opportunity to listen to her. She's got a wonderful voice. So in closing, I'd like to again say what an honor it is to have Western Michigan and Middle Tennessee in our bowl game. Have had the opportunity to spend time over the course of the last couple of days and a little bit last week, and I will tell you, it feels like a family event. I mean, it's just family. We're hugging every day, every time we see each other, and it's just special, and that, again, just speaks volume to this event. Expecting a great game. Again, I'm sure these two teams are going to bring out the very best of college football here to the islands of the Bahamas, and we truly believe there is no better combination than Popeyes and football to really kick off the holidays. And for us now, obviously this is year 2. This is now our new holiday tradition, and we want this to keep going as long as possible. So with that said, thank you very much. Again, looking forward to a great game, and please enjoy some Popeyes. Thank you.
Hector, thank you very much. As he mentioned, Ms. Henry will be doing the U.S. National Anthem. The Bahamas All-Stars will also be performing the Bahamian National Anthem prior to the game. And as many of you know, here in the islands, we like college football rivalries in the States. And we have a rivalry here that is right up on par with some of the best ones in the U.S., and that's the Junkanoo groups that will be performing at halftime. The Valley Boys and the Saxons will be performing at halftime in a little bit of a pre-Junkanoo showdown, so we hope everyone will enjoy that, and I think that will be great for our visitors from the United States to enjoy as well. So we thank all of those people for being a part of it. Just a reminder that Hector and Richard will be available at the end of the press conference around noon for individual one-on-ones. At this time, we'll take a momentary break to reset, and we'll bring up our friends from Western Michigan. All right, everyone. So at this time, we have the home team, the designated home team at tomorrow's game, the Western Michigan Broncos. Their head coach, P.J. Fleck, their quarterback, Zach Terrell, and their wide receivers, Corey Davis and Daniel Braverman. These guys are a very prodigious offense, but they're a very controlled offense. And they are second in the country in time of possession, but they put a lot of points on the board. They average over 35 points a game. So we're looking forward to a tremendous offensive effort and defensive effort from the Broncos. And at this time, I will introduce P.J. Fleck, who will make an opening statement on behalf of his team.
First off, I'm not sure how we became the home team. Middle Tennessee State's president is from this country, so I'm not sure how we became the home team, but we'll take it. Anytime you can be the home team, you want to be able to take that and run with it. So first off, just want to thank everybody here in this room. I want to thank Richard. I want to thank Lee, obviously, for all your tremendous and hard work. It obviously shows in the detail and the preparation of everything that went on here in the organization. People sometimes talk about the logistics of leaving a country and coming and play a bowl game. It was flawless. And the combination of you and Jessica Larmany and Richard and Hector, getting to know your family, you have a wonderful, wonderful family. And I want to thank ESPN, all of Popeyes Bahamas Bowl Committee. Chris, thank you for keeping all the things in line in terms of the interviews. I mean, everyone's interview here, so professional, incredible questions. And I think you know a lot more about football than you give yourselves credit for. I will say that. You definitely do. And you ask some really tough questions, which is the sign of a great journalist. So, but we're just so honored to be here. I want to thank our players. I want to thank our players' families. I want to thank our administration. I think we have the best administration in college football. I work for a pioneer and a lady who took a chance on me 3 years ago when nobody else would. Who would hire a 31, 32-year-old young kid to run their program? She would. So I want to thank her and our president, Dr. Dunn. I want to thank my fiance, Heather, to be able to put up with a head football coach the way she does. She really is the rock of our family. I want to thank our kids back home. And like I said, our players, it comes down, this is a player's game. You know, coaches get way too much credit when you win. Coaches get way too much credit when you lose. All those things. It's a player's game. It's a lot of fun to watch these group of men do the things they do. So we're honored to be here. We really are. It's been a journey this year for our football program. We've really developed, gotten a lot better. A year and 16 weeks ago, we were the worst team in college football. And now all of a sudden, back-to-back bowl games, the greatest turnaround in program history and Mid-American Conference history, and the greatest in college football last year. And to be able to sustain that with the schedule we did, we called it a schedule of champions, playing Michigan State, playing Ohio State, playing Georgia Southern, playing Bowling Green and Northern Illinois, who both won the sides of the division, and then top it all off with the first ever top 25 win in our program, beating Toledo at Toledo to round out the year. So we're very honored to be here, not only just on the field with the accolades with these guys you're going to hear from in a little bit, but off the field. I'm very, very proud of these young men. You know, we had 12 all-conference players. Last year we had 11, and before that we had 1 in the 3 years we've been here. And that's on the field. Off the field's even more impressive. We had 1 academic All-MAC recipient year 1. We had 9 last year, and then we had 12 this year, including 4 distinguished scholars. There's a young man on our team by the name of Ronald Zamort, who's from Florida. If you would have told me he would have ended up, finished his last final last week, ended with a 3.31 GPA, I would have told you you're crazy. But also, it just shows the development of our program, not only on the field, but off the field, and also in the community. I know our players really enjoy being with your culture, with the Bahamian culture, and getting out there and being at the orphanage and also the football camp. I know they really enjoyed that. So I'm sure a lot of you have questions. We called it the Year of Champions and the Year of Nevers. We accomplished a lot of things that we've never accomplished in our entire program history, and we're looking to accomplish 2 more things come tomorrow at noon. So we're looking forward to it. With that, I'll open up for questions.
Who stands out to you most on MTSU that you've had to game plan more? Is it quarterback position, receiver, or running back? What's the matchup you do best?
Well, I think whether it's professional football in the National Football League or whether it's college football, high school football, it starts with the guy with the ball, and that's the quarterback. It always does. And you look at Stockstill and what he's been able to do as a redshirt freshman is extremely impressive. I really call him a 12th-year senior. He's a redshirt freshman, but he's a 12th-year senior. You're the son of a head football coach. That immediately makes you smarter than everybody else in terms of the game of football, instantly, right? Because you're always around the game. I mean, he was probably 6, 7 years old, learning the China concept, smash concept, XY mesh concept. I mean, that's probably what he was learning while everybody else was playing with blocks and trucks, and that's what he was doing. So he's very sharp, very intelligent, and he makes everything else go. 87, obviously, the All-American they have. 80, the other receiver, the backs, the line, their defense. I can go on, but it all starts with the quarterback. And you can tell what type of leader he is and the confidence and charisma he has when he plays, and everybody else follows suit. So they're very dynamic.
Coach, back-to-back bowls, 30 extra practices. How does it help the younger players on the team for the next following year?
Yeah, well, we've had 13 extra practices right around that, which is an extra spring ball. And when we got done, these guys, we gave them a week off in terms of the players that actually play. And then we scrimmaged with our young kids for 3 straight days. And every other day we'd scrimmage with our young players. And when you talk about building a program, it's not just a 1-year season, and that's it. And then you give up, right? You got to continue to build a culture. And, well, you do that as the bottom's got to get stronger. And how do you do that? You scrimmage them, you play them, you give them more reps. Because during the season, the reps go to these guys. And the scout team members don't get much. But then you kind of put everybody back in the blender. You give these guys a little bit of a break. And then you put the young guys in to continue to develop that program from the bottom up. And I thought we have a very, very exciting young class. We've had back-to-back-to-back #1 recruiting classes in our conference. Well, the first Wednesday in February, we'll find out if it's back-to-back-to-back, 3 in a row. But we're on pace to do it. And we're just going to continue doing that, changing our best, bringing in elite people first, and then elite players, because it starts with people. And there's no finer three men that are to my left in the country, in my opinion, in terms of the entire well-rounded whole individual. And that's what makes them really exciting, because they're incredible players, which you're going to be able to see. Keep your eye on 11, 8, and 84. But they're better people. That's what makes them very, very special. Yeah, I think it's a better question probably for them, because as a head coach, you see things completely different, I guess, as a parent, right? But what we've done is we said we were going to build a bridge. And, what we were going to be able to do that. We knew the bridge coming over here. We wanted to have some type of resemblance to your culture and connect it with ours. But to be able to separate the work and the fun. One thing I'll say about these players, they're very, very mature for as young as they are. You know, we only have 9 seniors. Every one of these guys are coming back. We're a very, very young football team. But to be able to handle the work and the fun, and I'll tell you a quick story, if you don't mind. I told them, you know, no casino to start coming into this whole thing. You don't know what you're going to get, right? I've never been here, right? So I said, oh, gosh, casino, 18, 19-year-olds. Oh, my goodness. As a head coach, you don't know paranoia until you sign the dotted line, you become a head coach. As a parent, you don't know worry until you have kids. Well, you don't know paranoia until you become a head coach. So I told them no casino and no alcohol. And that was obvious for our football team. And one thing I'll say about these guys, day one was a test. It was a test. And I watched them, and Heather and I are walking through the casino just to kind of make sure nothing's happening. There's a group of them literally standing up, toes on the line of the casino, looking at with their maps out like this, going, okay, how do we get around this thing? But they're looking at it like it's Disney World, and they're going, man, look at all those lights. We got to get in there. But one thing I told them the next morning, I said, hey, I trust you, and you built that trust. And I wanted to somewhat test to see who would listen and who didn't. Every single one of them followed the rules, so the next day they were awarded being able to head into the casino. And some of them learned a very valuable lesson in the casino, which we're all about education here, right? Experiences, life experiences. But to answer your question, connecting the work and the fun, keeping it separate. But we do that at home as well. These guys are very mature. They have to love football as well as love their family, love academics, love life, have a passion for it to play at Western Michigan, and they're very, very businesslike in that. But I tell you what, there's a lot of things to experience here on the islands. I still have to pinch myself to actually say we're actually here. And it's a beautiful place, probably the best place I've ever been to on a vacation, which you're actually working on a vacation, which is really nice. So hopefully I answer your question. Sure.
Yeah, I'll start. Besides, obviously, the slides and the beach and everything like that, we got an opportunity to go to the orphanage. And it just so happened earlier in the day, we have a professor in the aviation program. And we were at the orphanage, and I was talking to one of the kids, and he came up to me, and he's a senior, 17 years old, taking the SAT. I can kind of relate, obviously, 4 years ago, that was me. And I just so happened to have an aviation T-shirt with me from Western Michigan, and he was talking about how he wanted to go into aviation, and I just thought that was really cool, and just like it was with me, I was like, would you like to have it? Kind of give it to him, and it was just really cool to kind of see him kind of light up and give him something, because we have one of the top aviation programs in the country, and it is kind of small world, just happened to be there, happened to be with me on the bus, and so I gave it to him. That was probably my favorite memory, just seeing him light up, and hopefully he'll wear that, and who knows, someday maybe he'll go to Western Michigan and be in the aviation program. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, overall, this is a phenomenal experience, coming out. I've never been to the Bahamas, never been out of the country, so this is a very beautiful place, and I thank Popeyes Bahamas Bowl and, for blessing us with this opportunity to be here. And, for me, we got to play football with a lot of kids, and, for some of them, they've never really played football, never heard of it, and it was a lot of fun just to see the looks on their faces, and it was really a blessing. So.
Like Corey said, I've never been out of the country, and every day I wake up and look outside my balcony, I just realize how blessed I am and how blessed we are to actually play football in this beautiful country. And one thing I really want to do is go with the Dolphins, and we're doing that today, so I'm really excited for today. But yeah, it's been an awesome trip, and thank you guys. We really appreciate it.
They got to stay in the shallow one, though. We don't need them going under. Paranoia, you never know. Hey, Brian.
The matchup was announced that playing Middle Tennessee's like looking in the mirror. What is it about them that's so similar to you guys?
Because they're going to probably have 3 guys up here the same positions, right? They're going to have a quarterback and 2 receivers, and there they are. One thing, first and foremost, they're very, very well coached. Coach Stockdale, one of the legendary coaches in college football, and has done a tremendous job building his culture. And, they're a very disciplined team on the field, and you can definitely see that. And I think that's, what we want to be able to represent every single day is being a disciplined football team that plays the game the right way and respects the game at all times. Because I think there is a right way to play it, and I think there's a wrong way to play it. I really believe that. I'm old school that way. Might be one of the younger coaches, but I truly believe that. And then when you look at them, they're identical to us. The quarterback, the 2 receivers, their offensive line, the running backs, and then their defense is kind of a no-name type defense. We're a no-name defense. I mean, there's not any defensive players up here because we just play really well collectively. And we're a very selfless team. So you see both sides. And then special teams, you see people put a lot of work into that. The coaches put a lot of work into that. And you can see that reflect.
Just the luxury of having two great receivers.
Yeah, it's kind of a blessing and a curse because you got to get them all the ball. You know, we have such talented guys, and there's so many of them. Obviously, it makes my job easy and then hard at the same time because you got to find ways, creative ways to get them the ball, and they're all special with the ball in their hands. But Coach kind of talked about it. We have a very selfless team, and you know, guys don't get selfish. They'll go out there and they'll play just as hard blocking. Corey Davis will block just as hard as he does running around when he knows he's getting the ball. It doesn't matter. And that's just the kind of team we have, and that's what makes us special on offense because we have so many weapons and everybody's really selfless.
That would be the one. And then we've never had back-to-back 8-win seasons in our program either. So, you know, when I took the job, there was a lot of challenges ahead. And Kathy laid them all out and put them all out there for me. And I was in the National Football League at the time and thought my career path was going to keep in the National Football League. And Kathy laid out all the challenges that were ahead, and that was a perfect job for me. And she's allowed me to do it the right way. And a lot of people don't allow that, to be honest with you. They just want to win, 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 win now. And we knew the way we were going to do it the right way. It was going to take a little bit of time, hence the 1-11 season to start the Coach Fleck tenure. But then she stuck with it, and she understood the whole plan and the concepts. That's why I call her a pioneer. So, yes, we want to be able to win the football game just like Middle Tennessee State, but we've never had a bowl win ever in the program history, and then we've never had back-to-back 8-win seasons. So it would really be a feather in these young men's cap to be able to accomplish that, not only for them, but past Broncos, future Broncos, and obviously current Broncos, and our entire Kalamazoo community who is going to be tuning in.
Coach, you said earlier that we here in the Bahamas, we pretty much understand football. You were impressed by some of the questions you were getting. My question to you would be, do you have any plans to get some of our Bahamian talented young guys to play for us?
Well, I'll say this. You're big into track, right? Speed kills. So, yes, we would be very interested in looking into you. We might have a whole team of them. We might bring your whole country to Western Michigan. Yeah, well, if you can run, you can play football. So we'll definitely look at that for sure.
We want to thank Coach and the student athletes. Momentarily, we'll have the photo opportunity with both head coaches, but we want to thank Western Michigan and wish them good luck in tomorrow's game.
You got it. Row the boat, everybody.
We're resetting the room, and we'll give you a 2-minute warning once we're ready to go. Ladies and gentlemen, we will restart our press conference here in about 1 minute. We know everybody's trying to grab some food, but we are on a tight schedule, so if we get everybody to please take their seats. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, if you would please retake your seats. The food will remain out for the remainder of the press conference. We'll make sure everybody gets some. One-minute warning. Video guys in the back, just give me a thumbs up when you're ready to go. All right, everyone, we'll start the second half of our press conference. And we welcome our friends from the Bahamian government and ministries. A game of this magnitude also does not take place without the help of our friends from the Bahamas Ministry of Tourism and the Bahamas Ministry of Youth, Sport, and Culture. Representing the Bahamas Ministry of Tourism is their Director General, Ms. Joy Jibrilu. Ms. Jibrilu, I will let you make your remarks.
Good morning, everyone. I want to take this opportunity to thank you for joining us this morning as we welcome back the second edition of the Popeyes Bahamas Bowl. The Bahamas is certainly honing its reputation as a sports tourism destination, and we are both proud and delighted to host this Christmas Eve the much-anticipated showdown between Middle Tennessee State Blue Raiders and Western Michigan Broncos. Congratulations to both teams for being here. I would also like to offer special thanks to our title sponsor, Popeyes Louisiana Kitchen Restaurant. It's good to see you again, Hector, and even better to see that you've started business in the Bahamas and it's doing so well. So we wish you every success and that it bodes well for our partnership together. The Popeyes Bahamas Bowl is hands down an absolute winner for the Bahamas. The promotion our destination receives in advertising and marketing benefits is truly priceless. 11 million households viewed the inaugural Popeyes Bahamas Bowl last year, and we're certainly expecting that number to be even higher this year. This Christmas Eve, Popeyes Bahamas Bowl will be carried live by ESPN, and it will be the only bowl game that will be aired at this time. So that means that millions of college football fans, we anticipate, will be tuned in exclusively to the Bahamas Bowl. Great news for us. College football teams don't travel alone. That means family members and hundreds of football fans are expected to travel to the Bahamas for this event. For our local tourism industry, this game will translate into an appreciable increase in hotel room nights and the usual vacation expenditure. Since the Popeyes Bahamas Bowl has come to the Bahamas, Christmas Eve is certainly no longer just the last shopping day before Christmas. Christmas Eve in the Bahamas has now become known as Game Day. A whole slate of pre-Bahamian game activities and entertainment have been organized. Football drills, Bahamian tailgate parties, the Bahamas All-Star Marching Band, Greek organization barbecue competitions, and of course our Junkanoo. This will take place during the halftime of the game, where there will be a Junkanoo rush out between the Saxons and Valley Boys, and as Chris rightly said, that is a healthy rivalry. So we invite residents and visitors alike to come out in great numbers. Join in the great pre-game fun activities, and on Christmas Eve, take your seat at the Thomas A. Robinson National Stadium, where the game will begin at 12 noon sharp. A final word to our visitors. At halftime during the game, you'll get a preview of Junkanoo. To visit the true spectacular that is Junkanoo, which is a magnificent street festival, music, costume, and dance. It's a cultural extravaganza that showcases the artistic creativity of the Bahamian people. So mark the date. Junkanoo showtime, for those of you who are still here, kicks off right after midnight in the early morning hours of Monday, December 28th, and we would love to see you there. So I want to close by wishing you all a very Merry Christmas. And as always, we take every opportunity to declare that it really is better in the Bahamas. The competing teams will find that the competition is better in the Bahamas as well. And we're all expecting a very excellent competition. At this time, I'd like to wish both teams the very best of luck. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Mr. Gibberlew. And as she mentioned, there's a lot of activities here. We also want to mention there will be the pregame Popeyes Fan Fest here in the stadium grounds. Popeyes will also be giving away, I believe, 5,000 or 7,500 T-shirts and pom-poms for those entering the gates of the stadium. So there will be plenty of flavor in the food outside the stadium and in the pageantry inside, and we look forward to it. And the gentleman who helps get a lot of that get put together in this wonderful facility at the Thomas A. Robinson National Stadium, who today is representing the Ministry of Youth, Sports, and Culture, is Mr. Jeffrey Beckles, who is also the general manager of the NSA Bahamas, who runs this great facility. And Jeffrey, I'll let you have your remarks.
Thank you, Chris, and good morning, everyone, and welcome to those of you who we have not seen and graced us here with your presence in the Bahamas. The National Sports Authority is obviously very, very excited and pleased to be a part of this great partnership, which we truly hope will become a tradition here in the Bahamas, and along with the other tremendous worldwide activities we have here, like Junkanoo, will be well known, that will help to define who the Bahamas is. We started our preparations just after the last inaugural Bahamas Bowl, and we're very happy to say that we feel very confident in our preparations and our efforts. We certainly like to commend our team. As a matter of fact, this partnership is producing a tremendous opportunity for some of our colleagues. One of the things going into this partnership we wanted to do was we wanted to expose our colleagues and our employees to tremendous opportunities to learn about event management and stadium management and all that comes with it. To that point, last year she was assisting me in the overall coordination. This year she actually took the lead in coordinating the Bahamas Bowl 2015. And so I want to say kudos to my colleague, Patrice Dean, who is here in the room today, who is a testament to the fact that the partnership is already beginning to show great rewards. Additionally, we'd like to also thank our venue team, who is responsible for the complete fit out of the stadium. The pageantry, which some of you would have seen last year, was specifically designed that way to reflect our culture and the beauty and the color of the personality of the Bahamas. And again, this year, it is blending very well. And again, that team is being led by Lawrence Hepburn, who took on the responsibility for our venue coordination this year. And of course, the big question we had going into this second event was the condition of the field. And while we are committed to continuing our efforts to improve the field, we also must say a hearty thank you to Scenario Cunningham, Trevor Moss, who worked very closely with Tom and Paul from our operations team at Bahamas Bowl to get our field ready. And that, too, is paying off tremendous benefits for us. And so it's really been a pleasure to get ready for this. And as we continue to marshal our efforts in the coming years, not only do we hope to expose more of our colleagues and inspire our young people, because we have a lot of Bahamian students who are studying sports management, sports events management, the whole 9 yards, because as you all know, not only is sports and events management one of the largest and fastest growing businesses in the world, everybody's trying to get a piece of this pie. And so we are hoping that we can marshal doors that will be open for our young people to get involved and get involved at home in building this huge juggernaut of our tourism, sports tourism sector. And so we're excited about that for what it's doing. And so we want you to come tomorrow, enjoy yourselves in the bowl. It is going to be exciting. We have a tremendous start at 9 o'clock tomorrow for our Fan Fest and our tailgate party. And we want you to come down, have a great time in the best place in the world. As you heard some of our players say earlier, this is the best place to visit. It is an absolutely fantastic place to visit and play a football game. And we are literally hoping that in years to come, the Bahamas will be defined by how we participate in this Bahamas Bowl. And so Popeyes, we thank you, ESPN, our partners, the Ministry of Tourism, who has really worked very closely with us. And Joy, we thank you for the continued partnership, because we will get better. Our commitment is to get better with every event, and we feel very confident we are on the right track. And so it's going to be a fantastic time. And so on behalf of our entire team at the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture, the National Sports Authority, we say welcome, Merry Christmas, and may the best team win tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff, and thank you, Ms. Gibberlew. We appreciate everything you do to help make a great event for us. And our tagline here is family, fun, and football, and we're going to have plenty of that tomorrow here at the stadium, and thank you for all of your efforts. At this time, they will be available after the press conference for some brief one-on-ones if you need. At this time, we'll reset the room and get ready for Middle Tennessee.
Hit that button when the red light comes on. Talk. Talk.
All right, everyone, 1 minute warning. Let's get pictures, whatever you need, and we'll start. Okay, for the final part of our press conference is our designated visiting team, the Middle Tennessee Blue Raiders, their head coach, Rick Stockstill, their quarterback, Brent Stockstill, and a couple of defensive players, linebacker T.T. Barber and free safety Kevin Byard. At this time, I'm going to ask Coach Stockstill to make an opening statement on behalf of his team, and then we'll open up the questions after that. Coach?
Thank you, Chris. First of all, I'd just like to start out by thanking
Lee Miller, Richard Giannini, Hector Munoz of the Popeyes, everybody here in the Bahamas, the Atlantis, everybody has been very hospitable to us this week. It's been a wonderful experience for our players, our coaches, our families, and just Richard and Lee, the effort and the work that you've put in to make this bowl happen. Hector is just, it's really an unbelievable task what you guys have done, and to pull it off in the manner that you have, you deserve a lot of credit. So on behalf of our team, our coaches and our families, I want to thank you guys for everything you've done, because you've done a first-class job. And then just, you know, we've been here for a week now, a few days. We're ready to play the game. We've had a wonderful time, a wonderful experience. We're playing we got a great challenge in playing Western Michigan. They're a really good football team, but it's a challenge and an opportunity that we're excited about taking on tomorrow morning. So I know our team is ready. We're excited about it, and we look forward to playing it.
At this time, we'll open up the questions.
They're a good football team, and we're a good football team. We've got identical records. We've played an incredibly tough schedule. Both of us have. You know, they played Ohio State and Michigan State there at Power 5. You know, we played Alabama and Illinois and Vanderbilt out of the Power 5. So we're similar in that aspect. Our teams, you know, are similar in some other areas, but I think just the peripheral, when you look at the strength of schedule, the people we've played, our records, you know, we're identical in those manners, but I don't believe any two teams are alike physically.
You know, I think, you know, they do have a great offense. You know, I think a lot of people like to talk about their passing game. They actually have over 2,000 rushing yards on the season. So I definitely think they're kind of a balanced attack. But, I mean, I feel like we got great defensive players, me and TT as well. And we're going to it's going to be a great challenge for us to stop them and try to contain the big plays and stopping the run first and foremost. But, you know, I think just as an overall defense, I think we're very confident going into the game. You know, I hear a lot of people talking about offense, but we're going to try to make this a defensive game.
Like KB said, I mean, controlling the big plays is what we've been emphasizing. So, I mean, as a defense, you like the challenge. Like, we're playing a great defense, so we got to rise to the occasion. So that's our focus for this game. We've been talking about leaving a taste in your mouth, and coming out with this win will leave a great taste in our mouth for the next season, the next team that comes along.
You know, one of our big emphasis is, you know, playing with tempo. We do that all the time, but, you know, coming into this game, that's what we're really going to emphasize. You know, kind of use our speed and our tempo to our advantage. And, you know, they're a great defense. We're looking forward to the challenge, and, you know, we'll just execute and see what happens.
I want to ask our student athletes a question. What has been the best part of being in the Bahamas this week? What have you guys enjoyed the most, and what is your impressions?
You know, I just think the scenery overall, you know, this is my first time being out the country, first time being a foreigner. You know, it's just been a great experience. Lances has been great to us, and all my teammates. We all been talking about it. We're having the time of our lives, you know. It's just a blessing, man, to be able to come to a different place, see different things, and I'm just grateful for the opportunity. It's just a blessing.
I mean, KB just said it all. Just like him, I mean, first time being out of the country, first time being a foreigner, and as a child, I always wanted to come to Atlantis, and now I got the opportunity to come to Atlantis, and I'm enjoying myself. It's been a great experience, and, you know, just ready to get this W.
You know, there's not much more to say, but, you know, I'm extremely thankful, and I think, you know, to be able to take in this, you know, this journey with my brothers and to finish it off right at Atlantis, you know, in this Popeyes Bahamas Bowl, you know, we couldn't be more thankful, and, you know, like they say, it's the time of my life, and, you know, I'll probably never get to do this again, so, you know, it's extremely blessed and thankful.
Coach, I'll ask, the question was asked earlier about the focus of your team being in such a beautiful place and having everything here that these kids can, student athletes can enjoy. What has been your impressions of the country, and how do you keep your team's focus?
Well, we talked about our focus back in Murfreesboro once the season ended and in our preparation for this game, that anytime you go to a bowl game, it's a tremendous reward for your players. They work tremendously hard throughout the year. This journey started back January 17th of this year, you know, and it's going to culminate now here tomorrow. So there's been a lot of sacrifice, a lot of work, a lot of heartbreak, and a lot of laughter, a lot of joy that's gone into this season. And for them to be able to finish out this year, and for KB and TT and our other seniors to finish out their careers at a bowl game, and especially this bowl, this is incredible. And when we get back and we reflect on this year and this bowl experience, this isn't like going to any bowl. This is incredible, and our players have had a great time. But it's like we say, there's a time to work and there's a time to play. And when it was time to punch the clock, you punch in, you go to work, and that's what we did. And when it was time to punch out, I wanted them to enjoy this experience and this time here, and they did. And but now we're about on the clock for the next 24. So we'll be ready. We'll be focused. There will be no distraction from this point on from what the Bahamas affords us.
Well, we know that the offense carries the day for you guys, 34 points a game, top 30 offense in the country, Coach. Talk a little bit about the weapons and what we will see from the Blue Raiders tomorrow here.
We've done very well from a productivity standpoint offensively. We've been able to throw the ball better than we ever have, you know, in a while. We've got, you know, Brent threw for 3,000 plus. Richie James caught over 1,000 yards. Ed Batty's our other receiver, I think, is at 960 yards. You know, so we've got some really good skill players. Our running backs, we got beat up early in the season. We got down to probably our 6th running back there at midseason. We're starting to slowly get back the last 3 weeks from a health standpoint with those guys. But our offensive line has done a great job. We've lost a couple guys. Darius Johnson missed the first 4 games, and then he missed the last 4 or 5 games with another injury. So he was a big loss for us, but, you know, we've had other guys step up and fill his shoes. So, but our team is, like Brent said, we try to be up tempo. We try to go as fast as we can, but under control, not out of control. Try to go fast and dictate the pace of the game with our tempo. So, but we've done a good job. Our offensive coaches have done a really nice job. They deserve a lot of credit also, as well as our players do.
Any other questions for our coach student athletes? Good. Aldo? Okay. Coach, thank you. Guys, thank you very much, and we wish you well and good luck in tomorrow's game. Thank you, everyone.